Welcome back. You saw what was in the ritual storehouse, right? The piles of torture instruments. All of them were created to uphold the strict religious laws of Onigafuchi village. They were tools used to kill those who broke the laws in terrible ways as a warning to others. That was a long time ago. Watanagashi, originally a ritual meant as a deterrent, was once overseen by the three families. But thanks to the Kimiyoshi and Furude families going into decline, and the way the times changed, actually carrying it out became difficult. I can imagine why. You'd never think people could be okay with drowning people in a swamp and killing them in modern Japan. Yeah, imagine that. Weird people wouldn't like that. That's why the Sonozaki family built this. A secret place, so that we could continue to conduct the rite of Watanagashi even in modern times. Mion opened a large, strikingly different door. And inside was none other than a modern storehouse for ritual implements. Oh my god, there's another? I never expected this. There's quite a few, isn't there? Some of them were actually brought here from the original storehouse. All of the things there had been rusty and covered in dust, so they didn't seem that real. But the things in here were different. Every one of them had been well maintained and kept in a state that they could be used right away. Blades gleamed and spikes were sharpened. Oh good, you wouldn't want the dull spikes. Also, perhaps as a precaution for the splatter of blood. The walls and ceiling were covered in the kind of tiling you would see in bathrooms. Oh, it's sounding like Dexter. And there was even a drain set amidst a slight slope in the floor. There was also a coiled rubber hose along the wall attached to a faucet, perhaps for cleaning up the splattered blood. Well, it's good to know they thought of everything. According to something a leader from a long time ago wrote, blood splatter has impact, despite the fact that it doesn't tax the sacrifice. Watanagashi was meant as a deterrent, after all. My ancestors thought up all different kinds of things to show off. As she said that, Mion pointed deeper into the torture room, to a spot veiled in darkness. There was surprisingly a room floored with tatami mats, and in the corner was a pile of cushions. They're seats for the audience. Watanagashi was meant as a deterrent, after all. Yes, that's like the 5th time I've said that already. It wouldn't make sense if there were no guests. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't think of anything to say anyway. Except that if Mion revealing all this to me made her heart feel any lighter, then I was prepared to listen for as long as I needed to. Right here is where I killed everyone. There were no spectators to watch me, but I did the Watanagashi very well. Well, perhaps there was one spectator. Huh? A spectator? Nani? Me. I, the demon, was watching the entire time Mion held the Watanagashi ceremony. Mion cackled in self-deprecation. Yes, don't we all? It wasn't a nice-sounding laugh. Back there is the prison. Is Shion there? She nodded slightly. Mion's Watanagashi had ended today. I needed to tell Shion that I was safe I needed to tell Shion that I was safe. Why does Shion care that you're safe? Hello? Hello? After all, she was probably trembling in fear at this very moment, wondering about when she would be killed. Again, why would she care about you? Hello? The ostentatious door, that's one way of describing it, on the other side opened, revealing what must have been an incredibly expansive space based on the echo it made. Mion groped around in the darkness, and a handful of naked light bulbs came on here and there. They are certainly word choices. As my eyes adjusted, more and more of the great cave showed itself in the faint light. The walls were bare rock surface, and it felt so savage that bomb shelter was the most apt term for it. There were small barred rooms built here and there, like holes made by insects biting their way through a giant piece of fruit. This novel has the strangest metaphors. It was immediately clear that each one of them was a prison. Where is everyone? Rika-chan and Satoko. They're corpses. I grimaced at her, having said it so outright. I mean, he's going to see them and he doesn't like the word corpse. Bro. Yeah, that's right. The poor things being left here in the dark like this. I didn't want them to get infested with bugs. Well, that's gross. So I threw them down the well. Sadako! I'm sorry. So, I can't even see their faces in death. I mean, this is a good thing, yes? Once again, my feelings of regret at having confessed everything to Rika-chan came surging forth. Why though? Like, Mion said herself that Rika-chan died because she changed the lock. Literally, that's all. Like, Keiichi had nothing to do with that. If Mion hadn't attached the word sorry to the end of what she said, I might have punched her. What? Calm down, Keiichi Mayabara. You said it yourself, no matter what, Mion Sonozaki is your greatest friend. What's a little murder between friends? Yeah, my greatest friend. I needed to hear myself say it out loud. Then came the clattering of bars in one of the cells deeper in. When I noticed it, I looked up as well. Shion? Is that Shion? Kei-chan? Is that you, Kei-chan? I ran over to the cell. White hands were peeking out through the gaps in the bars. It really was her. Are you all right, Shion? Are you hurt? No. No! Same. Shion's face twisted out of shape as she screamed. It was because Mion had appeared right behind me. Of course. Shion didn't know that everything was over yet. Okay, Ichi. Calm down, Shion. Everything is already over. We can all go home. Everything. I spoke in as calm a voice as I could manage to try to soothe the agitated Shion. However, it didn't seem like it was getting through her screams. Shion, how have you been? No more, please. No more. I don't want to see anyone else die. If you hate me, then just kill me already. I'm the one you hate, right? Kill me. Kill me right now. Sis. Indeed. Calm down, Shion. It's all over now. It's going to be all right. So calm down. Shion, who was screaming and rattling the iron bars back and forth, was truly in a frantic state. I gave a slight shrug of resignation, giving way to Mion. Keiichi has to be the stupidest mofo on the planet. I had realized that if Mion was the one who locked her in here, and if Mion was the one who had scared Shion this much, then Mion was also the one who could put an end to this. Mion spoke from over my shoulder. Quietly. Relax. I won't kill you. No, I won't kill you just yet. She burst out into a bizarre laugh, as if trying to make Shion's madness even worse. Shion broke out into a fierce shiver. A fierce shiver, indeed, brought on by that laugh, and rattled the iron bars as she wailed. Please stop. Don't kill Kei-chan. Kei-chan has nothing to do with this, does he? If you're going to kill someone, then kill me right now. I don't want anyone else to die. If you want to die that badly, then after I've killed this man, I'll take my time making mincemeat out of you. In accordance with the ancient rites, I'll do it slowly, starting with your extremities. I'll shave you down and mince you. Okay? I had that mincing machine set up specifically for you, after all. Oh. Or would it be funnier if I were to mince up Kei-chan in front of you? You. Hey, quit it already. What do you have to gain by scaring her at this point? No, Kei-chan, run away! I tried to rebuke Mion for flinging terrible words at her this late in the game, but when I turned around, Mion's mouth, so much that it was hard to believe, had twisted into a shape even thinner than a crescent moon. It was a smile. I'm sorry, that sentence is such a stupid way of describing that. Why? Why is it worded like that? Word it any other way. It's just so silly. I could sense it like a jolt of electricity. The person here wasn't my best friend Mion. It wasn't the Mion Sonozaki who had been tossed about by her heavy duty of succeeding the Sonozaki family either. Then, who was she? Is he finally catching on? Bam! I saw sparks flying before my eyes, like what happens when you get hit in the back of the head. The strength of my body drained instantly, and my head suddenly became heavy. My knees buckled under the temptation and hit the floor. Then my whole body abruptly collapsed. My face should have hit the floor, but it was comfortable, as if I had fallen onto a down-filled futon. My consciousness reeled, then receded. It was the kind of sensation like if you took a nap in the car, but you were still half awake and could listen to your parents talking as if they were far away. No, you wouldn't be listening, you would only be hearing it. It was happening so far away, and the conversation was completely unrelated to you, so you would have no interest in it. So whether Shion was yelling in my ears or Mion was in vulgar hysterics, I didn't think it annoying, nor did it interest me. Now then, I wonder how I should go about preparing you. Oh yes, what do you think of a bed of nails? I tested it on those two little brats, but their hands were too small for the restraining table. Let's do that. Mion held me up from behind and dragged me across the floor. The soles of my feet scraped on it, and one of my shoes fell off. No! Please stop, sis. Please, stop. Shion's emotions exploded outward, and she burst into bitter weeping. As if her crying had whetted Mion's interest, indeed, she flung me down. Yes. Perfect sense. And returned to the prison cell again. What? My, you sure can cry with a cute voice, can't you? Your unnatural bravado was making my skin crawl, but this definitely suits you the best. Mion, my big sister, I beg you, I don't care how you choose to kill me, but please at least let Kei-chan go. I'm begging you. Shion had always acted as though she were a cut above her older sister. That Shion, in such a miserable voice that I couldn't have imagined it during those peaceful times. Prostrated herself before the older sister she used to scoff at and pleaded forgiveness. Mion looked down with an expression of cool indifference, one that was plainly smiling with joy. You know, I wasn't planning on listening to your petty wishes. The way you're crying, though, is just too funny. I think maybe I'll change my mind and listen to you. Since, come to think of it, I never did anything big sister-like for you. Yes, thank you so much. Alright then, let's hear you apologize for everything. Then maybe I'll let it all be water under the bridge. And maybe, just maybe, I'll let Kei-chan go. Mion said she might let me go, but she never said anything about letting Shion go. Before long, Shion got on her hands and knees behind the bars and began to speak weak words of apology. They were too faint for me to hear, but their intention got across. Despite having watched her with a magnificently jubilant expression. Mion kicked the bars and declared she was unsatisfied. You think you can make up for years of grudges and hard feelings like that? That just will not do. I guess I'll make mincemeat out of you both. No! Wait, sis! One more chance. Just one more chance. Mion stopped and waved her hand again in resignation. Not because she had grown impatient, but only because she was taking delight in abusing Shion. You can't apologize to my satisfaction anyway. I'll teach you how to make an apology that will get through to your older sister. I'm only going to tell you once, and if you get even a letter wrong, you're out. Got it? Yes. Yes. Thank you, sis. Oh. Shion's miserable voice cried out, having become utterly hoarse. The sensation tearing through my chest returned a little at a time. I realized it was feelings of anger bubbling up. I was slowly regaining control of my body. However, I was only able to feel my skin and my blood flowing at the moment. How do you feel your blood flowing? That seems like that would not be a very good thing to feel. I still couldn't voluntarily move my fingers. Did you memorize it? Then let's hear you say it, sincerely and faithfully from beginning to end with all your heart. If you can do it properly, then I'll only kill you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Something was strange. Something had become strange at some point. You reckon? Until just a few moments ago, I was sure this had been Mion, but at some point, she had become someone else. The Mion I knew well would never do something so nasty like enjoy trampling all over someone's dignity like this. Now, let's hear it. Your big sister is listening closely. Shion Sonozaki is... When I ran over to Shion's cell earlier, had the real thing been swapped out with a fake right behind me? What? Anyway, this couldn't possibly be Mion. Shion Sonozaki is a lowly, worthless soul, not fit to even lick her big sister Mion's feet. Okay, thanks for making it weird. And when I think of the countless times I've been rude to my big sister without knowing my place... Yes, that's the spirit. I'll permit you to say a little more now, okay? Blood circulated through my whole body. I certainly hope so. That's what tends to keep you alive. My numbed senses were returning. Just a little more. While Shion is still holding Mion's, no, that thing pretending to be Mion's attention. Hurry up. I reflect on how impertinent I've been and swear loyalty to my big sister Mion for the rest of my life. So, oh. Mion's burst of laughter echoed throughout the big cave, growing to a terrifying level. That was not the laugh of someone who was alive in this world. It was none other than the laugh of a demon from the bowels of the earth. She laughed from her stomach until she grew tired of it and stopped smiling suddenly, as if snipping a wire. All right already. That was funny enough for me. I didn't think you'd throw away that much of your pride. That was plenty enjoyable. Mion began to drag me again after I finally got the feeling in my body back and pulled me towards the torture chamber. Sis, only kill me. Please, forgive him. Don't worry, all right? I'll be sure to kill you real good. After letting you get an earful of Kei-chan's screams, that is. No! After dragging me to the torture chamber, she skillfully strapped me into the restraining table. Before I knew it, I was sprawled out and bound. She forced open my hands, with which I couldn't even make a satisfying fist. A satisfying fist is the strangest way I've heard that of ever being described, and tightly restrained each one of my fingers. She fastened only my hands and my fingers at that, tightly with hinges, and locked them in place. "Sis, don't kill him! Sis!" The door to the big cave with the jails had been left open so I could hear Shion's cries of mortification the entire time. "Can you hear it, Shion? I'm going to get started now. Please enjoy Kei-chan's young screams." Give it a effin' rest, indeed. The feeling in my body returned, and the first action I took was to tell off that thing that looked like Mion. Awake at last, are we? I lied before, you know, about having wanted to give Shion the most miserable death of all, but locking her up because I hadn't thought of a good way yet. That was a lie. Mion brought over something like a toolbox. From inside it, she removed a large metal hammer, and next to that, she began to line up what looked like long, strangely shaped nails, whose ends had been turned into hooks, like the kind you'd see on a harpoon. I'll let her hear the screams of all those people that died because of her, and after they've soaked into her very soul, then I'll kill her. I've got pretty good taste, huh? Who are you? Huh? I'm Mion. Mion Sonozaki. Has the fear driven you crazy? No, you're not. There's no way you can be Mion Sonozaki. Mion snorted and continued her preparations for the horrifying torture. I see. Then, if I'm not Mion, who am I? A demon. Huh? The face. You're not Mion. Mion was just here. Give her back. Kei-chan, is your brain really doing okay? I don't think it is. You're not going crazy with fear? Don't touch me, you damn demon. Give her back. Give Mion back. My best friend. Give Mion back. Mion stood there for a few moments with her jaw hanging open, not having expected me to say that. I myself knew that I was about to go insane. I knew it was nonsense to demand Mion's return when she was right in front of me. But, this person in front of me couldn't possibly have been Mion. There was no way I could accept that. So, this is what I thought. The changing of tenses throughout this story constantly throws me. Why do they do that? Mion really had been possessed by a demon, and was controlling Mion as if it were a separate personality. Mion was just a victim being manipulated by it. The evil one was really this thing. It all had to be the doing of this demon possessing her. When Mion heard that, she started to guffaw, laughing so hysterically that she started to cough and almost choked. I also do that. You really are a piece of work, you know that? In this very moment, Mion Sonozaki is trying to kill you, and you're trying to reject me. I never knew there was such a funny person in all the world. If you want to laugh, do it all you want. No matter what you say though, I won't accept that you're Mion. Give her back. Away with you, demon. Begone. Kei-chan, are you trying to kill me by drowning me in my own tears? No matter what, I wouldn't lose to that laughter of hers. I shouted loudly. I shouted from the bottom of my heart so that the real Mion, trapped inside the Mion I saw in front of me, would be able to hear. You can do it, Mion. Really? That's what he comes up with? After all that time? You can do it, Mion. Don't lose to this piece of shit demon. You're strong. Show me how strong you are. Tears welled up and flooded down her face. Her hands were busy with the restraints, so she couldn't even wipe them. She just let them flow. Please, Mion. Mion! Where did you lose to a demon like this? Huh? You're not that weak, are you? Don't lose. Fight! Fight! Mion, desperately enduring her laughter, pressed one of the long nails to the tip of my left pinky. Oh! In her left hand was the hammer. Oh! At her side were dozens more nails. I could tell what she was about to do, though I wish I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't afford to be scared. That was why I shouted. My sides hurt like they're about to split. Is that all? I'm going to get started now. Be sure to give her some good screams. Not only am I torturing you, Kei-chan, but I'm torturing Shion as well. Why? Why would you? Mion! Then I wept. Only sobs came out. They weren't in acceptance of the torture about to be performed, however. They were tears of regret that Mion had lost to the demon. Yet a small change did occur in the Mion in front of me. Her heightened excitement was draining little by little. By the time I'd realized it, the one in front of me had returned to being Mion. Kei-chan, this may not be something pleasant to take to the grave with you. You really seem to want to know though, so I'll tell you just one thing. I didn't know if this was Mion or just a display of momentary humanity the demon had recovered. A long time before the demon came to live inside me. It was gnawing at my heart, trying to spur me to violence, but I suppressed it with my reason. That settled the demon down, and I got to thinking it had gone away somewhere. As it turned out, I was wrong. It hadn't left me. It had just gone to sleep. I noticed that there were tears forming in her eyes. The demon woke up again due to a certain small opportunity. What do you think that opportunity was? There was a sad and yet reproachful light in Mion's eyes. Do you understand? I don't. I don't know what gave the demon the chance to beat Mion. This might be strange for me, a demon, to say, but you're the reason everything got so messed up. The tears welling up in her eyes spilled downward all of a sudden. At the time, if you had given me that doll you got without hesitating, maybe everything wouldn't have gotten so twisted. The doll I got. That doll that I got when we had our club meeting at the toy store that Sunday. You probably can't understand. I wouldn't expect you to. But you see, all sorts of things started falling over like dominoes after that, and soon it was too much for me to control. It only makes sense that you wouldn't be aware of knocking over the first one, since it was so small, but you're the one who set it up. That can't... Me? If you hadn't made Mion cry, then I wouldn't have had to wake up. Is that enough? For you to die in peace? A mistake that I'd made on that day was what messed everything up? That can't be, can it? It only makes sense that you wouldn't be aware of it. Even so, Kei-chan, you are without a doubt the cause. If you had nonchalantly given me the doll that day, then I don't think this would have happened. I wanted to say, like I just remembered something as I recalled that day. Lena had told me about that, and I thought I had apologized. I didn't apologize to Mion, though. It had been Shion. In other words, oh God, I hadn't said a single word of apology to Mion. Today, I came to this house saying I had something to apologize for, but I never said a word of apology about this. Come to think of it, when I apologized for going into the ritual storehouse, Mion looked a little bit lonely, like she was disappointed. Why didn't I realize that until just now? Lena told me at the time, and now she herself, no, the demon was telling me. Is the only way for a dense idiot like me to be cured to die altogether? Ugh, oh, I could no longer hold back the hot tears from pouring out of me. Why does this novel insist on describing tears as hot and wet and moist? I swear to God, every time, hot tears. I simply just cried and reflected indifferently on the taste of my tears, on the taste of regret. Can I start now then? This method of torture is very simple. I'll nail one of these into the joint on the end of your left pinky finger. Then I'll nail one in order until I get to your thumb, and then I'll go back to your pinky and nail one into the joint in the middle. So on until I hammer 15 nails into your left hand. When that's over with, I'll do your right hand next. After that, if you're still conscious, I'll tell you. There are a lot of nerves bundled in your fingertips, so it hurts far more than you could imagine. Some people apparently pass out before you finish hammering 30 nails into their hands, so... Mion pressed the tip of a nail to my left pinky finger. My wrists, my arms, and all the joints on my fingers were strapped in so tightly it hurt, and I couldn't even twitch. I didn't hesitate at all when I was torturing the others. Why do I hesitate now? If this will satisfy your demon, Mion. If it will sate the demon, then do to me what you will. Alright, we're going to end this episode here, apparently right before some torture. Lots of things happened this week. Anyway, alright, I'll see you guys again next week. Come back, we'll see whether the torture is going to go down or not, and who or what this Mion really is. I'll see you guys then. See ya.